All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Discipline Therapy Podcast, the nitty gritty. Down to a couple of episodes left. Um, but jumping right into it, we know y'all are fiends, and you know what that means. That means we're serving you your dose weekly of Discipline Therapy. Where not everything is completely free. What is free is judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite, roll a blunt, but make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're
We're
here.
here.
Um,
It sounded far away right there, right?
yeah, just jumping right into before we get into that. Um, couple of things. First show is sponsored by Robert Graham. What I'm wearing is limited edition button down. Yeah. You
That is a
have
nice, that's good quality.
you have glass accents for the buttons. Could feel that. A light
That's
breeze,
nice.
a silk blend, arranged in rhythmic sun-touched pattern, which is what you're witnessing in front of you. Airy, refined, richly textured
Very richly.
shirt tail hem, mainly silk. I would say dry clean only. This is made in India, so it's imported. There are online and physical stores. Deer Park Tanger Outlet, Long Island, Columbus Circle, Manhattan. There's Connecticut. There's Orlando, Florida. There's Philly, King of Persia. There's
Oh, wow.
Atlanta. There's Las Vegas. There's there's many more. Just you could just Google them and maybe you'll find one
Nearby.
nearby. It's always good to go into physical stores and see for
Mm-hmm.
yourself the feel, the texture. Father's Day is coming up, so those are great ideas. It is a male-dominated luxury brand. They do have some female, small section of females. Um, I'm pretty sure females shop with the brand as well, but it is mainly male-dominated, male-centric. So that's the sponsor for today.
It looks very regal.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the texture of it and the pattern and the colors is very royal
Well,
to
this
it.
part, this is a limited edition. Like they're not all
Beautiful, beautiful.
done with this. The thing with limited edition is a lot of it. I could say 98% of it is handcrafted.
Yeah. I could tell.
Um, it's handcrafted. Some of them actually have like beads. Like this one doesn't, but some of them actually have beads. It is handcrafted and the embroidery.
Yeah.
The
Beautiful.
embroidery is different, and like I showed in the when you flip it inside,
Mm-hmm.
um, down here, like the embroidery,
Oh,
knowledge,
yep. Oh,
wisdom,
beautiful.
truth. It's like no other. I've
Yeah.
been around like fashion for a long time. So I've seen fashion, tried on fashion, been around fashion, touched fashion, uh, uh, uh um, you know, accents and apparel. So I've been able to like see the difference of what it is. I'm not gonna tell people what the price is. They could, Google themselves. Um, you know, some people it might be expensive, for some people it might be that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, so that's the sponsor for today. Also I wanna mention just personally, um, if you like me, and even if you don't like me, avid supporter, just keep me in your prayers. Um, my mom is not doing that well. Um, but we're hopeful, praying, we believe in God. So things will pull through. Things will happen like it's supposed to happen. We believe that. Um, so I'm somebody that operates on faith as well. I'm a numbers guy, and I always talk about probabilities and stuff like that. But there's another side of me that's a spiritual person that believes in the higher power, God's ancestors. Um, so I believe in that as well. So sometimes, um, it is a rare chance where, you'll see a probability of a number and it's said, and then it's like God in the universe is like turns it, and then they
Mm,
make that, and that's a rare situation that occurs, and that's because it's supposed to be what it's supposed to be due to faith and the universe. So I believe in
definitely.
that.
Also,
But
the power of prayer. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm sure you and your family will welcome whatever prayers and good thoughts to be sent to you guys right now.
yeah.
We also have links. All the links are in the description below the video. How to become part of our Patreon family and subscribe for exclusive content like bloopers, behind the scenes, Mr. Discipline's solo lectures, the Discipline Therapy Talk, his BDSM contents, erotica posts and writings by Mr. Discipline. We also upload all of the masterclass and workshop videos. Uh, we have collaboration shows pertaining to more sensitive topics on there, such as rape, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, transgender issues, children abductions, conspiracy theories, and much, much more with myself and Neil Discipline. So once again, how to become part of our Patreon family, you go to patreon.com/, the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Mr. Discipline also has 7 books published for you to purchase. You just go on, they're available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, for electric devices as well, like Kindle and Nook. Um, so once again, all the descriptions are in the video below. And as for store merch, go to disciplinetherapy.launchcard.store/shop and check out all the different categories. And last but not least, if you can't make it to the YouTube channel, don't worry about it. We're on all the major listening platforms like Spotify, Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, Podtail, Podcaster, Pocket Cast, and many, many more. All right. So today's topic, we have season 21, episode 229. Do women like to be treated like shit? And is that what makes them more present? We always have them good topics. Do women like being treated like shit? I don't think intentionally any woman likes to be treated like shit. I think it's what they have seen, either like a family member, a mother, an aunt, a cousin, a sister go through it. Maybe it's something that they've gone through, like abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. And I think seeing something like that, witnessing that kind of a trauma, whether it's on yourself or to somebody that you care about, that's either going to push you to think that that's normal and you're going to allow that to happen to you, or it's going to push you to be like, that's never going to happen to me. And that's where you get um, the feminine.
Mm.
And I think all that happens from trauma.
Yeah, well, I think feminists are just created from one trauma and just the lack of education. Like some people, some people, well, yeah, people, because they're male
Yeah, they
feminists,
are.
um, don't even know they are, you know. But I think that I think when we look at, well, you know me, I like to break things down, A,
Mm-hmm.
B, C, and then I go into what I go into, and then I dissect what I think the way I dissect. So if we look at back in the day, right, and what we always do is we don't think of like retrospect. We think of like, the present. And when we look at back in the days, I would say no. But
What do you mean?
well, the
That women
question,
don't
what,
like it?
yeah, the
Okay.
question is, do they like to be treated like shit? Right? That's what makes them most present. I would say no. We're looking at ancient times. traditional times, um, the men that treated women like shit did not get good women when we look at back in the day. Um, but we're in different times now. So for where I'm looking in modern times, I would say yes. I believe that, and I've said this in a prior episode or episodes, women are emotional masochists. And when I say women, this is one of the few times that's rare. This is a rare case where, I've done this in the past, not often, but tonight, I will say, also letting you guys know this is dropping in a special edition. You know, the Knicks parade was today, so just doing that. It dropped on Friday, so for people that don't follow us on social media, you're probably tuning in like, wait a minute, every Thursday they rock out. Just to put that out there. Okay, so just to jump back on topic, I digress. Um, I would say that, like I've said, women are emotional masochists. In prior shows. So that's why I'm generalizing, which is rare that I do, but for tonight I am. Women are emotional masochists. Now, for people that don't know what a masochist is, they can Google it, but don't worry, I'll be your Google. You don't have to leave the show. Give us your undivided attention. It is someone, male or female, that likes animal, doesn't matter, that likes some type of infliction of pain, humiliation, degradation. So when we look at this, right, when I generalized, right, this puts the category of every woman in this realm. Um so when we look at OnlyFans, what?
So you're saying not just in one aspect they like being treated like shit. You're talking about different types of aspects.
Yeah. So as you know right now, emotional, right? So like so so okay, so you're confused. There's women that like to be treated like shit physically, maybe in the bedroom. Choke me,
Right.
slap me, spank me, spit in my mouth. I'm a technical beast. Okay,
Right.
so I'm speaking the emotional part. That's why I put all women, because the good girl could like it
Rough.
rough.
Got you.
There you
Okay.
go. So we're on the same
Yep,
page.
we're on the same
Okay, so
page.
so this is one of the rare situations where I will say all women, because when we say this, like I'm a technical guy, we
Mm-hmm.
did not specify.
Exactly.
So for me, it's like I'm a kid in the candy store when you don't specify.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a debate with me when you don't specify.
That's true.
That's true, right? When you specify, it's like, oh, damn, okay, we got to stay on
Yep,
topic.
exactly.
We got to only go on this. We can't go outside of it. Now, when you don't specify and you're just like, women like to be treated like shit, you didn't say anywhere. You didn't say any situation. You didn't say um in what endeavor and etc. Right? But we can't forget about all these parts that make us human beings. You know what I mean? We have a spirit, we have emotions, we have physical, we have sexual needs, right? The emotional part, I believe women in general are emotional masochists. So once again, I'll reiterate for those of them that don't know, but all this education is on Patreon for BDSM. Masochist is a term in BDSM, right? Um, they like the infliction of pain. Could be physical pain, could be emotional pain, could be psychological pain, could be spiritual pain. Humiliation, degradation. And I was going to the OnlyFans before you put your hand
I'm
up.
sorry, yeah.
But it's okay. OnlyFans, right? Let's get into them. We don't bash on here. We just tell the truth. OnlyFans that are producing adult content. So I want to give more context because I'm not just gonna say OnlyFans, right? Because maybe they could be cooking on there. But I don't know why you need an OnlyFans for that.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But maybe about 90%, now let's say 95. Those 5% people are doing other things on there. Showing their feet, this, that, maybe. I don't know what they're doing. But I hear about the 95%. Maybe one lady said she was cooking on there, but she saw that wasn't making her money, so she transitioned to adult content. So 95% are producing adult content. So I wanted to put more context to make it specific. So, Sue, what do you think the women that are on OnlyFans, 95% of adult adults producing adult content on there, do do you think they're masochists?
Do I think they're masochists
Mm-hmm.
if they're OnlyFans
Yeah.
girls?
Based off my definition of what a masochist is.
Then yes. Based on your definition, yes.
Okay. Based off just not my definition, do you think they're masochists?
Um, do I think they're masochists? Not based on your definition.
Okay. Why?
Not. No, no, no. I was just trying to get the question, the wording of the question right. I think not all of them are masochists. Just like I don't think not all women like to be treated like shit. I think healing women or women who are on the healing journey like a man who takes control, who takes charge, but maybe not. That doesn't necessarily equate to being treated like shit. So going back to the OnlyFans girl, I don't think she necessarily likes, likes to be treated badly or being called bad names, but maybe it's something that is getting her the quick money that she needs.
Okay. So so she's looking at it from the woman's lens,
Hmm.
which is natural for a woman to do. I'm going to look at it on the objective lens. The objective lens is yes, she is a masochist, whether it's my definition or not. What I believe, I'm not saying what Suhei just articulated is wrong,
Mm.
but what I believe is she is in both ways, and I'm going to explain. See, Suhei looked at it on the woman's lens. I'm going to look at it on objectively. And I was hoping Suhei was going to mention this. That's why I asked her. The woman taking off her clothes, because that's not something that the traditional woman used to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
She used to be shy about that. That was disgraceful, operative word. Disgraceful, operative word. I'll reiterate. She had pride. Someone who has pride will not stand for degradation. This is what I'm getting to. That's why I like to go A, B, C, and whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
explain the definition of masochist. In that definition, I mentioned degradation. So that's why I was hoping you was gonna get into it. So the woman taking off her clothes to the public, degrading herself. She's humiliating herself. She's putting herself in the line of fire to be treated like shit, to be called names and stuff of that nature. So if she does that with no shame, subconsciously she likes that. So that's why I said all women. So that's one of the OnlyFans. Now let's look at the traditional woman. The traditional woman is most likely gonna get with a traditional man. Um, she may not like to be treated like shit outside of the bedroom, called certain names and stuff like that. That's gonna make her present. But when she gets in there, she's not gonna want a gentleman as well. The traditional man is not one dimensional. He's most likely dominant and all those things you mentioned about taking control in all those aspects. Regardless if you want to say it's taking control, let's call a spade and tell the truth. The reality is she's being treated like shit in the bedroom. She's being degraded. She's being slapped, choked, spit in my mouth, spank my ass, pull my hair, stuff of that nature. She's being degraded. The irony about it is dopamine hits,
Mm-hmm.
endorphins kick in, so it's a higher pain tolerance. And that endorphins raises adrenaline. And that adrenaline induces to arousal. So what would normally happen outside of the bedroom now that endorphins is kicked in and maybe some nice words are said, right? It's heightening arousal. So it feels good. Feels good, right? Let me flip it. If the woman was dominant and she called me a nigga, we had an
My
argument.
goodness.
She said names, she berated me, she was egregious. When we go in the bedroom, she wants to take charge. She's slapping me around. She's spanking me. She's trying to tie me up.
Goodness.
That's not gonna turn me on because I'm not a masochist. There's some guys out there in the closet. They're
Oh yeah.
masochists in the closet because they like that. You know what I mean? But me, it would never turn me on because I don't like disrespect. We had an episode like this, remember? The woman that would stay with the man who she hates but loves. The disrespect, this thin line. It's like me, I dismissed a lot for disrespect. And some people would be like, yeah, well, it ain't that big deal because I'm not a masochist. Dude, you dealt with that. Your wife treats you like shit because you a masochist. You just don't know yourself. I'm comfortable with who I am. I know myself. We may not. The thing is, you might think we're the same. We are as far as the gender, but we're not the same as far as what we like because I know myself. So I know what I like, and because of that, I set boundaries and and hard and soft limits so people won't cross those. So it's like you got to understand that um they do, and I also believe it depends on the guy. That's the pivotal moment of this book. You know what I
I
mean?
think it depends.
You reading a book right now. What happened?
I think it depends on more on just the guy.
It depends on it depends on the guy too. I didn't say
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
No, 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 no. No,
the
definitely.
catalyst.
No, no,
It
yeah, yeah.
depends on the guy too because if that guy she loves him, if that guy sacrificed so much, if that guy on top of doing all those things, bedroom putting it down right, maybe great provider, stuff of that nature, and it's like they had an argument. Maybe he said, "Oh, bitch," one time. Yo, just you too. Like you're just annoying. You just keep talking like we're trying to have a conversation, but you're just arguing and you're getting loud. You're talking over me. Shut the fuck up, bitch. And she's like, that doesn't make her walk away. That doesn't make her be like, wow, somebody never disrespected me like that. That doesn't make her um like spaz out even more. It's said in the bedroom. That doesn't make it stop. That doesn't make it no. You know, pull your dick out. I'm getting my dress back on or putting my pants on. The relationship's over. No man will get away call me a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So like me, I say this because it's not just experience. It's what I see, what I saw in film, things around me, growing up, family, stuff of that nature that I say what I say and I back up my argument with how I think in this regard.
I I I agree with you. I mean, obviously with some things, but I don't. My opinion on this is they may argue just like this last scenario that you said. They may argue and he may call out her name and say shut the fuck up. So whatever that is. And yes, I agree that she's not gonna just up and leave and say, "Oh hell no, you disrespect me." That's it. But I don't think, I think in her mind she's like, "Oh, that's what the hell was that about?" And she stores that like I don't think she likes it. If you know what I mean. I also think that it
No,
depends
no, no, no,
on
no,
how traumatized a
no,
woman is.
no, because you're talking about one person.
I'm
You
one scenario.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in their shoes. Oh, I don't think she likes it.
No, no, no.
You
I'm
s-
not just putting I know myself, and I would definitely have said something, to my partner about that. But I also know, other women, just like you said, with your experiences and
Mhm,
what you've seen.
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
basing my my answers on what I've seen, sisters, cousins, friends, or whatever. And I do understand that there are women who do like that stuff.
Mm.
There are other women. It depends
Because
how traumatized they are.
so yeah, see, like 85% of people are fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at objectively, right? My experience, because what I've observed, what I've engaged in, and then now statistics. Cause I'm both, right? I told you earlier I'm a numbers guy. So and I'm not trying to say I'm right, you're wrong here, but I'm just saying you got to look at the statistics. There's more statistics showing that women are in or even stay in long-term relationships that are toxic than healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can Google it. You know what I mean? Like I have a title in my first book about good girls, bad boys. That's a real thing. We had an episode like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's a real thing. So it's like more women engage in toxic relationships, and the fucked up thing about it is they're more loyal there. You even agreed with me in one of those shows. They're more loyal there.
For fear.
Remember the scenario I said, because like, oh, now you want a good man, but when you look at your chronicles, you never had one. So you're trying it new. You're not gonna cheat on him. You're gonna be present there. You're gonna treat him well. You're gonna know how to handle all the good things he's providing you, and not call him a simp, and not say he's soft. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't tell the difference between masculine divine and a simp. You think a gentleman is a simp? Like you know what I mean? Are you gonna be present there? You see, remember that episode?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more women that statistics show stay in those relationships, and we have to come to a conclusion because they like to be treated like shit. You know what I mean?
I don't think that they like it
That's what
though.
makes them the most present. We come to a sense of like because it's what you've engaged in the longest. It's what you're doing that becomes second nature. It's something that um
But is it something that they like?
it's something that you continuously to go back to. So we come to a consensus of saying we like this. Like somebody that's been in a job for 15 years in the same spot, same corporation, same position, but they complain every day. You think you're going to say that that person hates what they do?
If somebody can you repeat that one?
So so this is like an example to make you understand. So a person who's been in a job or corporation, a position for 16 years straight, right? And they complain every day. You're going to tell me they don't like what they do.
They don't like what they do. If they're gonna complain about it every day, some people get complacent because it's a good paying job, and that's what they need right now is that income. But they don't like what they have to do.
So if we're looking in reality, right, where there's a lot of jobs elsewhere and there's money all over the place, are they now answer it? Are they happy where they with what they're doing?
Are they happy with
Yeah,
what they're doing?
because
I'm gonna say no.
you said good
Good
paying
pay,
job plays okay.
but
So
that's
there's
going too.
benefits,
Right.
okay? So even if they're complaining and you're saying they're not happy what they do, you mentioned benefits. Are benefits
Well,
are
that
benefits usually good or bad? Like when we mention the operative word
it's
benefits,
supposed to be good.
there's bad benefits? Is that an oxymoron, or benefits are most likely good?
They're supposed to be good.
They're supposed to be good. So you mentioned benefits.
Right.
Okay? So if they're doing that for 15 years and you mentioned benefits, that's good, right? And they realize that's good.
I mean, it's what if it's what they know because that's what they've been there for 15 years.
Okay. So would you say they like what they're doing?
No.
Okay, so me personally, I think they like what they're doing. Complaining is how they get through it. It's just bullshit. It's like I got two cars. One of them is a manual. So a lot of people don't drive stick shift. But it's like me, it's like imagine me having stick for a long time. Pause. That shit, I don't know this. I don't know. That shit sounded kind of crazy.
It sounded a little bit
Imagine me
nuts.
having manual for a long time, right? Right? Imagine me having manual for a long time and like now I'm in traffic and I got to shift, right? Because if I'm not shifting
You ain't
and
moving.
utilizing the clutch, I'm not moving anywhere. So I'm complaining why I'm doing that. Would you say that I hate manual?
No.
Hmm. So what why you say the woman or man who's been in the job corporation position for 15 years that complains about it hates what they do? Because can I get a automatic?
You
And
can.
wouldn't it be like maybe would it be cheaper? No, it'd be more
No, it's
expensive
more
because it's
expensive.
more desirable because more people drive an automatic. So that's a bad one. Wouldn't it be easier? Wouldn't it be easier? Cause I could easily get an automatic. I could go tomorrow and get an automatic. I told you one of my cars is
Right, but
automatic.
if you're going with like you can't let's say it's easier to go get an automatic,
Hmm.
right? It's easier to switch the car, but now you have a more expensive whatever that you pay the
Monthly?
insurance.
No, I'm just gonna pay it out. Pay it in cash or something.
I think a lot of people are unhappy in their
Nope, nope. You're
job.
deterring, like
No, no,
you
I'm
know.
just trying to answer because I
Okay,
can't do the
okay,
analogies with the cars or
okay.
whatever. I think they're unhappy, but because they've been there for so long, they know what the job requires.
Mm.
They do it and they get the money. That's why
Mm.
they stay, but they don't like where they are.
So I believe those people that's been in those positions, jobs, and stuff of that nature, they like what they do. The complaining is how they get through it. They're just a fucking bitcher. They just complain. I made up my own word.
A
That's
picture.
all they do. They just complain, but they actually like what they do subconsciously and all stuff of that nature, and they're getting benefits. They like what they do, whether it's a pride thing because I'm in this position of power, whether it's I'm the most tender person here. Everybody comes to me for training. It's I know how to do the job. It's this and that and whatever it is. Yeah, I'll bitch when I get off, but when I'm here, I'm 100% because they don't sit on their ass. They do what they need to do. They don't leave early and stuff of that nature. They're 15 years going on 16 and so on. They're going to keep going. The reality is to me is this always goes back to what I always mention about the human mind. Frontal lobe, the cortex, what we use for judgment, critical thinking, and memory and absorbing information and stuff of that nature, right? It gets stored there. So now everything becomes second nature. 15 years is a long time. Psychology says when you've been doing something for 10 years consistent, you become a master at it. Operative word. So that 15-year veteran is a master. They love that. There's a certain ego they built. There's a certain pride they built. The complaining is just something that they do. You know what I'm saying? To cope, but they like what they do. So I'm using that scenario and analogy for these type of relationships of why women like to be treated like shit when we look at modern like I mentioned in the beginning, my answers are different in two different eras.
That's true.
If we're talking about modern, because I like to live in the present time, we're like when I go out there and date, I got no choice but to deal with these fucking modern chicks. I would prefer everybody to be traditional so it could be just easy to date, but I have to deal with and filter out who is traditional out of those shells to break out of it. I know you got some modern tendencies, but is there traditional there? Okay, I pick you. You know what I mean? So I gotta deal with it because I'm living today just like you.
But
So I think of today. And when I think of today, when I look at history and stuff like that, even what friends told me, because a lot of my friends are good guys. these chicks are so fucked up. They don't know how to treat them. They drop the bag. Like this modern culture says. What did it say? Did it say drop the
They
bag or
fumble.
fumble the bag? There you go. You're more hip than me. You're cooler than me.
Well,
I'm not cool.
what can I say? My
They
kids keep me cool.
they fumbled the bag. You know what I mean? Metaphorically.
Can I just say something?
Mm.
You just said it right there. These chicks nowadays are so fucked up
Mm-hmm.
that they fumble the bag.
Yeah.
So with you saying that,
That's
can their trauma play into that?
That's why I called them modern. Because when they heal, they go back to their default programming, traditional, divine.
So it's because of their trauma that you're saying that they
Mhm.
like to be treated like shit.
And Sue,
Okay.
like I said,
Me too.
I'm thinking objectively. So, like I said, I'm judging based off the majority. What I did 4 years ago, we started this podcast June 18th, 2020. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
About 6 years ago, yes. 6 years ago, right? When you people could go back. I was basing my perspectives off how I only saw things. I never did broadcast before.
Mm.
Right? I went on some shows, talk about the BDSM lifestyle, but I never did broadcast before. You brought it to my attention. Yo, not all guys are like that. Da-da-da. You would say that almost every show.
Yeah.
No, they're not like you. They're
It's
not
true.
doing it. They don't do it. And then 2 years later, 2022, 4 years, when we go back from where we are today, that's when I started to look outside of me.
Yeah. Ooh, look,
Yeah,
just
you got the chills because
Woo!
it's true.
It's true, exactly. You saw that.
Yeah, that's when I started looking outside of me. And I was like, oh, she's right. There's a lot of simps. Yeah, there's a
True.
lot of whores. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. There's mind chicks. There's OnlyFans now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? All this stuff you and I see. The juggernaut of social media. How everybody's influenced off that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started, whoa, wait a minute. Let me take a step back. Then I started to see outside of me. That's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing now, Sue. I'm looking outside of me. I'm looking at the majority, and that's what I'm basing this on. It is the majority. Maybe not you. Maybe not her. Maybe not her. Maybe not her. But them, yeah. Them, yeah. Because when you're navigating out there, right? You're meeting a couple of metaphorically zombies with the barcode across their forehead, invisible barcode, where they're influenced by the QR code that their phone, and that's scanning their barcode to influence and block their third eye chakra, their pineal gland, right? So you're navigating through zombies trying to find the woke, the traditional, the divine. So
they're like that too. Yeah.
so I'm looking at the majority. You know what I mean? I mentioned about the others. That's why in the beginning I said, yeah, I would say no, we're really thinking about traditional because I'm linking the divine women in there. But when I'm like, we're looking at today because we got to deal with this, yeah, because now I'm looking at the modern. You know what I mean? When you look at statistics, right? You would never think this in your era and my era growing up, right? When you look at statistics, that average, like the beginning, the minimum age for starting in OnlyFans, female, you'll see it's like 17.
No, it has to be more.
Younger?
No, older.
17.
Because one of the, let me.
You know what I'm saying? And we talking about America. Google it. Let's see. See if Google ain't gonna lie.
18.
Okay, I'm one off.
Yeah. It doesn't say male or female. It just says 18.
Okay, but we can agree about when it comes to male and female, it's about 90% of female, 10% male. For it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the reality is, like, when we're looking at that regard, right? I think that the treated like shit is being put in a sexual connotation for those females because they look at it as a balance of a scale, right?
The
The balance.
OnlyFans?
No, just females in general that I said about women liking to be
I'm
treated
sorry.
like shit. They're looking at it on of a scale. There's a balance for that. That treated like shit is gonna feel good.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it hurts your feelings at the time and you cry and stuff of that nature. Something if and I've never cried over a woman berating me. I've laughed in their face. That made them more angry because they feel like they didn't get what they wanted. They wanted me to fight. I've dismissed them. I've hung up the phone. I've walked away and stuff of that nature. But I've heard females like crying when a man would berate them. One time I had a sub and in the past years ago, and I said that I didn't even call her out in her name. I was saying you have a lot of bad habits and we need to work on that, and I got an action plan to helping you work on it. And she was crying on the phone with me. So I hurt her feelings. Let's say it was reverse, because I'm getting to this point. I know I talk a lot, but I get to an end goal. No woman has ever berated me, called me out my name and stuff like that, and made me cry. I've never cried, even a male doing it, never cried for those reasons, right? Let's say a rare situation it was to happen. Well, yo, you fucking nigga, like you ain't no king. You ain't this, that, blah, 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 this and that. Degraded me in every fashion. And I cried in front of her. I blew a tear. Yo, if that was my girl, we're done. Why, Sue? I
Because
mentioned it earlier.
she's disrespecting
No,
you.
no, no. That's not the main operative thing I'm looking for. Why? Why would I leave?
It's not because she's disrespecting you?
Sue, get to the big part. That's obviously there. Think beyond the surface. Why would I leave? I'm giving you a hint. Why would I leave? Why wouldn't I stay after I cried? Because she disrespected me.
No, because you won't feel like a man. I don't
It
know. Just give me the
okay.
answer.
It's so easy. Like you're not getting it because you're just trying to think fast. But if you take time and think, you will. It's because of what I said earlier. What I am not.
A simp.
You're close. I used the operative word, a specific word. Starts with an M.
Masochist.
Hey, ding, ding, ding. Give her a
Lord,
prize.
that was so hard.
Yes, because I'm not a masochist. And what does a masochist like? I mentioned the
Treated like shit.
Yes. You see how it comes full circle? You see how it comes full circle? But there are women out there who I fucked her good, right? I do it all the time. I'm a good provider. I'm this and that. Her tire blew one day. She really needed me. But you know what? I disrespected her. You think she's leaving me? The first moment I disrespect her?
Nope.
Why?
Because she is a masochist.
Because she is a masochist. Me, unfortunately, because people will be like, oh, that's fucked up. Discipline. Me, unfortunately, it don't matter how long we've been together. It don't matter what you did in the past. Yeah, that's why they like it's fucked up.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
So it don't matter. I'm gone. Because a man's love language is respect. And every man will attest to this and agree with me. A man's love language, especially the woman he's laying with, especially the woman he's being vulnerable, sharing my next move and all that stuff. Yo, I told you when I was up, I was gonna take you with me. And you, what? You being crazy disrespectful? Are you crazy? Yo, I made you nut. You got the audacity to raise your voice to me? 6 times in one session. Really? So it's like, for me, it's like the love language in regards. Like me, I'm gonna take it personal, just like every real man, masculine and divine and all that. The simp tolerates it, feminine energy. What does the female do? Tolerate it, feminine energy. It's natural. If I'm doing all the right things, I that one time that happened where I called her out her name, it makes her feel bad. She cries, but what does she do, Sue? What does she
Nothing.
do?
She stays there.
She stays there because she's a masochist. she likes to be treated like shit.
Wait, can I ask you a question? When a person is a masochist, they like it. They like to be to be treated like shit in all
No,
forms, or can it just be I'm a
yeah,
masochist
yeah,
only in the bedroom?
yes,
Don't call me out my name outside
yes,
of that because that shit bothers me.
yes. Because when we say masochist, right, it's in all forms. Earlier, I said emotional. You was paying attention, right?
Yeah, but wait,
So there's different parts, and I
no,
want to
no.
leave this for BDSM. There's different parts. So I'm gonna just real quick help women identify, and then we get back on track. So a woman who is not a masochist has masochistic tendencies. She's in one specific. She's not all around. So I'm gonna give you an example. Give more context. Physical, sexual. I'm not an emotional one. I'm not a spiritual one, and I'm not a mental one. So don't call me out my name when we having an argument. Don't hit me outside of the bedroom. Disrespectful. Don't do this. Maybe cheat in front of me and all that stuff. Don't whatever else disrespectful shit he did. Don't do that. But if we're in the bed and you pull my hair, big man, call me a bitch or you're a slut or whatever it is, I like it. Or I mentioned a sexual, physical. If you slap my ass in public, kind of like that. You grabbed it. I kind of like that. We were on the line for the movies or whatever it is. You kind of tugged at my hair. You got the engine going. You see? So when I mention it one word and I didn't put a specifics to it, it's in all situations, endeavors, and stuff like that. But I mentioned earlier emotional. That's why I made my argument about saying all women, because
Because
that
they fall
traditional,
into one of those.
yes,
Okay.
that traditional woman who's like that, because we're talking about treated like shit, right? The thing that makes me be like a kid in a candy store is you didn't put no specific to it. If you said, well, all women like to be treated like shit in the bedroom, okay, then we could talk, because I'd be like, well, the
Right.
good girl wouldn't want you to do that. Well, all women like to be treated like shit in general,
Right.
or all women like to be treated like shit just emotionally, just verbally, just verbal abuse. Because those are borderlines of those things when we come to abuse in every way. And abuse could be subjective to certain people. Oh,
Right.
you call me out my name. That's abuse. Verbal abuse. You know what I mean? Somebody else might be like, oh, that wasn't that bad. We've had female guests come on the show where I've asked them that question, and some of them have said, "Oh, that wouldn't be that bad." Others would be like, "Yeah, you call me a bitch in the bedroom. I don't care how good it is. We stopping."
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, but that same woman that said that, she's still allowing that physical abuse, which would be treated like shit. They might have arguments, and she's a weirdo. She likes arguing because
And
she,
then makeup sex.
yeah, it got her horny.
Yep.
You know
I
what I
knew
mean?
girls like that too.
You know, so it's like for me, and obviously I've had more women than you.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? So like I'm thinking about experience as well of why I'm saying this
Mm-hmm.
stuff, of what I've seen, what I've been around, movies, this, that, my personal experiences, and all that. So I'm not just thinking about just what's inside my lifestyle and in a bubble. I'm thinking about what outside of that bubble, what my friends have told me, what I've seen, and stuff of that nature. So I think when we look at modern era, they do like to be treated like shit, and that's what makes them present, because it gives them some type of motivation, which is fucking weird. Like the female that has a rescuer complex.
That's like almost all female.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a project. It's like it gives me purpose. That's the word I'm looking for. It gives me purpose, and
Until you
purpose
learn.
makes me wanna. It motivates me to keep going. Like he's calling me a bitch. Every woman would think differently. Oh, he's berating me. He's doing this. He never loves lips. He does this. He steals from me. He does this. He slaps me around. He abuses. He treats me. All women have their different reasons of why they stuck around. Oh well, I know his history. His parents were never together growing up. Oh, I know his history. He was born in a low income environment where all he saw was crime. Oh well, he was vulnerable to me. He took care of it. I'm gonna be the one to help him elevate. So there's different purposes. You see it all the time. The dude is bringing healthy Everything is good. She's so toxic. She's like, well, when's the ball gonna drop? So it's been 2 months. We haven't had an argument. I don't believe this relationship is real. Let me start some shit. You're not putting enough effort. The funny thing about it is they work the same. They're putting in the same effort. She's looking at it on a different lens. Because she's trying to self-sabotage so she could feel sane. Nah, niggas ain't good out here. Dudes ain't good out here. Guys ain't good out here. They do this, they do that. The ball gotta drop. So it's like, wait a minute. So she self-sabotaged that good man, but she was in those bad relationships for 15 years. 5 different dudes.
Mm. So do you think that women enforce rules on the men they like and are their type, or just rules for men they don't like and aren't their type? I think that all my answers are always going to go back to how traumatic these women's experiences are. And I think that a traumatized woman puts rules on both men that they like and are their type, men that they don't like and aren't their type. And I think that's their way of trying to control something.
So I disagree.
Okay.
So the so what was the question?
Do you think that women enforce rules on the men they like and are their type, or just rules for men they don't like and aren't their type?
For rules that men aren't their type and they don't like.
Just they only put
Yeah.
rules for men that are
Yeah.
okay.
So I don't put a specific woman on here. I say all women do this. The toxic ones don't the toxic ones are the same. They don't do it for the men that they like and are their type.
I think they do when they say like when they are territorial or jealous. That don't you better not look at another woman. You're my man.
It's okay.
That's like a
Yeah,
rule.
okay. So yeah, see, we got to go technical. So when a woman, so this is the truth. When a woman likes the man she's with and is his type, she's not doing those things.
Wait,
So
she's
it's
his type or he's her type? Because I might have read that wrong in my mind.
when he's her type,
Okay.
right?
And
And
he's her
she
type.
likes
Okay.
him,
Mm-hmm.
right? We could even throw love in there. That negates what you're saying because at that moment she's relinquishing control. It's whatever you want. I'm down for whatever. I said that in the last show.
Mm-hmm.
Chicks be like saying that. You know what I'm saying? You tell me you down for whatever, I have you doing whatever. You gotta be Pacific. So like I believe that when they finally found their type because it's like their dream, right? It's like, oh, I can relax now. I
That's
can
true.
relinquish. So that negates what you're saying. They're only giving rules to the dudes that they settle for. They don't want to be alone. They love love. They ain't nobody else. I'm not non-heterosexual. I refuse to be going to lesbian. Pause, I like dick. Pause. Like she would say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I like a man. Pause. You know what I mean? It's like she would say that. So she's not giving up on men, but she's like, now I'm gonna control. That's a dude that's not her type. That's a dude she don't really like. She's just using him for her trauma, for her needs met and stuff like that. She's not really into him. When she meets the man she's really into, it don't matter if she's toxic, healthy, whatever it is. She's like, here you go. Yo, so we are off this week. I'm off the same day, or I make my own schedule, so I'm gonna take off this day. I'm planning for a night. It's summertime, picnic or something like that. Walk in the park. Yo, so any other activities you would be into? Mm-mm. Whatever you like. But the dude prior to me, she was doing everything, saying everything, and the moment he said, "Well, we're gonna go over here," no, I don't like that place. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. You see what she did with me
Mm-hmm.
versus the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Who does she like and her type, and who does she not like and not her type?
She likes you and you're her type.
Because
She said whatever you want to do. She relinquished control to you.
Yeah, which is she's not giving rules for.
Exactly.
Right? So I believe that, when it's their type and they like them, it's like, oh, I could be a woman now and follow because that's my womanly act. That's one of my purposes.
I agree with you if that woman knows that about herself, and I don't think a lot of women do.
Yeah, they don't, but Sue, I'm talking about even like her doing like a subconscious thing. You know what
I
I'm
don't know, but
saying?
I'm basing things on like, all right, like my daughter, she really likes a guy.
Mhm.
That's what she said. Like, I don't, if you're with me, then just be with me. Don't look at somebody else. Don't talk to somebody else.
that she don't really like him. That's not her type. She don't
I
really
mean,
like
I
him
think
because
she said that she would say that to any guy that she's with.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Don't talk to another girl.
I don't think so. See,
I
the
think
thing
so.
is like this, right? Maybe initially that's how she gonna be because she's been in relationships before. If this was her first man, she wouldn't even think of that.
What do you mean?
Because
She wouldn't
because
think
because you
of.
got to understand every past relationship is trauma that you got to heal from.
Mm,
So she got experience, which is why she's bringing that already. If she like the man and it's her first man or whatever, and she don't have trauma like that and whatever, and he's like he's he don't even have to mention anything about Polly. Like me now, I mentioned that. In the past, I never had to mention, oh, I'm poly and stuff like that. Women would just see certain things, right? I had women that would just instinctively know. They would never put those rules upon me because they instinctively knew.
mm.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't be in like, oh, give me your password to your phone. Oh, these girls coming to. They wouldn't feel the need to do that because they're relinquishing all control. That is dominant. Don't look at no girls. Don't like no girls' pictures. That's dominant. No woman is dominant with a man she's into, which is her type. That's what I'm saying. Your daughter don't like him. I'm telling you the truth. I know you don't want to hear it,
No, it's
and
not
maybe
that I don't
she's
want to hear
watching
it.
too, and
I'm
she
just
don't want to
saying.
hear it. She don't like him because if she likes him and it's her type, she's relinquishing control. She trusts and she respects. Wherever we going, I'm following. Even if you walking me through fire and you holding my hand, I'm gonna believe we're gonna walk through the end unharmed because you said so. The moment she starts implementing rules, because that's what those are. Don't look at this. Da da da. Don't do this. Don't do that. Those are rules. The moment she starts implementing rules, she's not really into that guy. She don't like that guy.
I'm
I'm gonna
just
have a
going.
woman come on. I'm
I'm
gonna have a
just
couple women come on,
I'm just
and
basing from what I've been hearing and what I've been
mhm,
told and what I see.
yeah. But
Um.
this is just the truth. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like they're not because a woman that and people out there, y'all could quote this, but make sure you say E.L. Discipline said it. Because I also said in my first book, The
And tag
Seduction of
them.
Discipline, chapter 13, chapter 10, when she's acting up, chapter 13, power, chapter 5, the life of a dominant. I said, if a woman can control a man, she don't like a man. And I also said in that chapter 10, no woman is into a man, may not be verbatim, if she can manipulate him. Because that's too easy. Women love a challenge. Oh, he's mysterious. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's not gonna give me everything I want. Oh, wow, what is it about him? What do I gotta do? Now I got a purpose. Women don't like easy when it pertains to men. They like to work for a man. They like to serve. So, like, a woman that can control her man don't like her man. That's what it comes down to. So that is, oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't look at this girl, don't like her. That's control. That's being dominant. And that woman don't like that dude. That's not her type. And the reason she's able to do that is because she didn't see dominance in him. Because, like, a woman in my past would never have the audacity. Maybe they told their friends, well, I don't really like if he wants to be poly. He's monogamous with me now. But he told me down the line he would want to be poly. I don't really like that. And I kind of articulated to him, but I can't do it. They probably told their friends that, but they never have the audacity to tell me, yo, listen, you're gonna give me your password from now on, discipline. So do you believe that? Do
No.
you believe a woman in the past would have you see? You see, so even you, not even knowing any of my exes, would never say, this dude could be easily controlled.
About you?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. So for a woman that feels like she could easily implement the audacity for her to feel like she could implement those certain rules, mean like she think her dude of a simp. Because if she thought of him as a real man, dominant, leader, masculine, alpha, muscles, all that stuff, assertive, aggressive, he gonna put it down and make me orgasm and all these things. He gonna leave. A trespasser come in, he gonna unleash. He's kind to me and I see the soft spot, but he gonna unleash. I'm not gonna see something. I never seen this before until that situation. Whoa, I didn't know he had that in him. I remembered he does. When she feels like that in that type of man, there's no way she gonna feel it, because a woman could always feel it. She loyal to her emotions. So she gonna feel that her intuition, even if she is toxic and her intuition is not 100%, like the divine, she gonna feel the operative word, I can't play with him. I talked that's all I should have said. That's all I should have said. Some women look at certain men and they say, even if it's conscious or subconscious, I can't play with him. Him I could play with. Oh, hell yeah. He gonna be my lap dog. I'm gonna tell him what not to do, this, that, and all
Okay,
that.
that's true.
Him, mm-mm. And it turns me on a lot. But I can't play with him. He too serious. He intense. He this, he that. The irony about that drags her closer to you. Because real women love dominant men, not boys. And dominant men come with all that intensity, passion, aggression, assertiveness, masculine, divine. Dominant men come with seriousness, mature. Those clowns and all that stuff, the women could feel that. She not gonna feel dominant with him. She could feel it. It's aura. It's aura. She could even see his glow. She could see his glow, whether it's white, gold, green, blue. She could see his glow, and then automatically her soul kneels. Yes, master. Yes, daddy. Her soul kneels prior to her flesh. Some of these chicks be saying out here, oh yeah, well, I need a dude to tame me and stuff like that. And I tell them, are you an animal? When a real
You're
dude
going.
come into your life, you could have been talking crazy. You act right. I told you, I've been in certain situations like that. This black woman I met, she was ripping this dude's head off. She saw me, she was all polite. And I just met her. Why didn't she give me that same energy? She felt something.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was subconscious, she felt something like, damn. Her spirit said, damn. And then the universe and the God said, watch it with him. We protecting him. You better lay down. You better calm down. And she calm. That's why I go back, I'll reiterate. Some women know who they can play with. Some women know who they can't. So that the women that are making those rules for those dudes, this, that, they don't see dominance in with them. They're playing with them. They're trying to control them. They're being dominant with them because they're not assuming their role and assuming their position to do that. I tell the women all the time, never assume but the fucking position. And that could be bent over, or that could be
Goodness.
spiritual or emotional and stuff like that. Assume the position. Stay in your place. Never get out of it. Your place is a woman. You don't tell a man what to do. So when I say that, I gotta speak in general because I always speak in code, assume the position. You don't know what that means.
That's true.
But it's like the reality is when the woman is with the man that her type and she likes both things, she assumes the position, which is woman. So she don't implement those things. That shit is like, man, in Scarface, Tony Montana said it, played by Al Pacino, the club scene, when he was talking to Alvita, Frank's, was it Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Frank's wife, and he tried to tell him what to do, and he already knew he was a simp. From him letting, like, yo, any dudes let me talk to his wife? Dudes trying to make me, the first time when he was saying, he let him dance with the wife.
Oh yeah.
He knew it. And those are writers. And I bet you they had behind the scenes. They didn't even say that. I'm telling you right now, you're behind the scenes of that movie. He knew he was the same. That's why he had the audacity to tell his boss, orders? He was telling him, oh, do this, blah, 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 blah. Orders? Nah, Frank. Only thing in this world that order is balls. Pause. Yo, they was wild back then.
Yeah.
You get away with it back then. But he was like, only thing, I'm not gonna reiterate, but they could watch the movie Scarface. Only thing that orders in this world is bleep. You know what I'm saying? And that's what one of the things that ended up him trying to put a hit on him. But why would he feel the audacity to say it? Because he felt his simp energy. You know what I mean? So it's all about a feeling when a woman interacting with you. And just like a job interview, the first impression is the last thing impression. How I saw you and met you, whatever, that's how I'm gonna believe how you are in the end. So it's like that with women. If you ain't bringing this energy from the beginning, she already see what she could get away with. And she gonna feel the audacity to overstep and be like, well, he ain't taking charge. He ain't making rules, so I'm gonna make them for us. You see? So that's what happens in those certain circumstances. That's why we get to this.
That's true. The last bullet that we had was, do you believe women are masochists in some shape or form? And yes, I do. I think that most women are masochists in the bedroom. Most women, like 99.9% of women are masochists in the bedroom. And then I feel like there are those women that, again, because of their trauma, that they believe, oh, if he doesn't, hit me, or if he doesn't check my phone, or if he doesn't whatever, then he doesn't care. I do believe that there are those types of women out there as well.
Did it say most women?
I said most women are
No,
are
in the
bedroom.
in the
No.
did it
Do
say
you believe?
women?
Do you believe women are
Okay.
masochists?
Ladies and gentlemen, you see the power I have? She went to actually agreeing with me when it pertains to the operative word masochist, and they could rewind into the beginning. So we come to the conclusion, and I did it without debating. I just stated my perspective from my experiences, statistics and stuff like that. To the point where at the end of this segment, she ended up agreeing without saying, I agree with you, discipline. She read it and she said her perspective. So even a woman on here is saying that didn't kind of look at it in the beginning, that even now statistics have shown it, that she's saying it, that it is a true thing. This is how we have to get out of this. See, our show is about problems, but we try to find solutions. So yes, we have something that we finally agreed on, even though we were kind of not on the same page in the beginning. And I didn't manipulate you to change your perspective. You just did that like that. So the fact that we agree on this, okay, it's a problem, because all about the healing process is the awareness first. So you need to heal the mind prior, because the mind, the brain is the reason to all bodily functions. So the knowledge is first. You gotta realize you have a problem. So we got to the masochist part, right? All women like to be treated like shit. Now here comes the solution: healing. So you gotta be aware of it first. You can't be in denial. If you're in denial, then it's like, you're never gonna elevate. So you gotta be aware first. Okay, like, yeah, I did this. I was with these guys or whatever. I in the job, in the workplace, in this with coworkers. Oh, so I like to be treated like shit, even though I have all these degrees. I make six figures. I got my own place. I got cars. Oh, I like to be treated like. So that's something you have to be aware of, right? Then the second thing is, if you want to elevate from that, that's what it comes down to. So maybe you will always be a masochist, but maybe you could change the general to Pacific. Specific, I'm sorry. Not Pacific. That's Pacific time. We come on at 9 p.m., 8 Pacific. But specific now, you put specific circumstances, specific traits or endeavors. Oh, I'm a masochist, but in the bedroom only. I'm a masochist, but only mentally. I'm a masochist, but only physically, not even sexually. Because I don't like you penetrating me rough and all this stuff and pause and all that. I don't like it. I don't like it. So Now, like, you have to because it's always gonna be in you. Women in general are cursed with this. Even through back in the times, like medieval times and stuff like that, ancestry. Women in general are cursed with this. They've tolerated a lot. They've stuck around. So
Mm.
now it's already fucked up. Lucky, yeah. Sometimes he gets to a point where jumping on topic, you got a little bit. You gotta do that a little bit in the butt, and then he get right. But I don't know. Sometimes he's just in the cage, and then you let him out and be free and stuff. But he's very trained, so I always put him outside before and everything. But the thing is with him is he comes back from outside to inside, and he's like, "Ooh, I'm back in. I'm this, I'm that," or he'll get out the cage and it just run wild. You know what I mean? And then he'll tire himself out and then just lay there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then go lick his bowl when he
Oh
wants
my.
with water,
Oh,
or,
bull. I
or
thought you said something
oh
else.
no, and then you know what I mean. But he's sometimes crying for attention too. That's the thing. He won't let me
He's such a
podcast.
girl.
Yeah, he crying for
Just
attention.
kidding.
Like when
I'm
I
just
when I
kidding,
when I
ladies.
arrive, like he wants me to pet him and stuff like that. He's just crying for attention. Um, but jumping back on topic, um, it's
Excuse
I believe that you know you're always gonna have that in you, but you can change parts where it will be like okay.
me. Mm.
Maybe your partner likes it, right? In one environment or stuff like that. Well, it would be okay. But if you're ambassadors all around, you're never gonna be in healthy relationships because eventually like you're gonna want like shit to drop, like the ball to drop. You're gonna want like, yo, we didn't have an argument today. He didn't call me out my name. He didn't hit me. It's too perfect. It's like, damn, the bedroom is too soft. I don't
Or
know.
maybe she could even be thinking, is he like talking to somebody else now? Like, why
Yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
not interested. Like he's not even
He's
like
losing
he's not even
interest.
holding me accountable. Like I I did something fucked up the other day that would have made another man mad. He's not even holding me accountable. Like you know, so those women who are masochists who like to be treated like shit, they're not gonna be in healthy relationships until they actually heal
Mm-hmm.
and get out of that being a masochist mentally, spiritually. Um,
Physically,
no, because like
not
there's
sexually.
there's gonna be there's gonna be there's gonna be parts about her that will stay. She has to pick which ones are healthy subjectively.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So physically, no, because I mentioned this. You weren't paying attention, so, but it's okay. I said I talk a lot. In the public, he smacked her ass.
Yes.
Okay, so like she has to feel like where she feels like is gonna be like the healthiest for her subjectively and good, right? I believe the mental masochist is toxic. I believe the spiritual masochist is toxic. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but a physical one, just a slap on the butt. Yeah, that's not a bad one, but more physical than that, like abusive.
It's still what it is. Just
Okay.
because it's not, just because the impact
Like it's
is
a
not
different
great.
level of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it still is.
Okay.
The way I look at it is, I mentioned this earlier. And to make you understand, I put myself in the shoes. Do you think I like my ass slapped?
No.
Pause. Do you think I like a woman to spit in my mouth?
No.
Do you think I like a woman to choke me?
Nope.
Do you think I like a woman to pull my hair? We don't have much. Um,
No.
like we're standing on line. She slaps my butt,
No.
grabs my butt.
No.
Do you think I like a woman to like call me her little fuck toy in bed?
Oh my God, no.
Her little slut boy or something? Do you think her little nigger?
Oh my gosh,
Do you think I
no.
like that?
No.
Like, oh, let's play let's say it was a white woman or something. Oh, let's play slave or whatever, master. You
That's
think
awful.
that's a
No.
then because I don't like that. What am I not?
A simp.
No, so
Masochist.
yes, yes. So most females, like, they have a lot of dark desires. It's common for, even statistics show, 96% of them will be submissive and be degraded in the bedroom. 4% will not. So, yes, submissive and masochist are two different things, but there's a thin line.
Hmm.
There is a thin line because you submit to the pain. Me, I ain't submitting to shit. Only God and the ancestors. So I'm not submitting to pain. I'm not submitting to this and that. The only masochist in me, which I mentioned in the past, is tattoos, gym. I will
Hmm.
abuse my body. I let the needle touch me. But other than that, a physical person doing things that, this and that, if I saying certain, no, you know what I mean. And in a relationship too, mm. You know, more women will tolerate disrespect and stick around than men. And I
That's
said
true.
men. I didn't say males. I didn't say simps. I didn't say manjanas. I said men.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like it's all about like just fixing it, fixing the thing. You know, because I feel like each like manly man does have a little sadist in him. Like we could say bitch and asshole, right? So sometimes in certain environments, the bitch might come out and then the asshole kind of tames it. So their demons play well together.
Hmm.
But like that's a certain scenario, certain environment, not all the time, part-time. Now when you have a 24/7 sadist and you got a 24/7 masochist, I guess that will work for them. That's called a
Hmm.
toxic relationship. And I guess that will work for them. But when you have a man who's not that, a divine, dominant, whatever it is, masculine man, and then you have a masochist woman like be treated like shit, he's leading, teaching, making sure you're good, yo, dieting well, this is healthy to eat this, I'm putting you on this, I'm also making sure you're exercising, like helping you get through the life and oh, you could be better, you're trying to get into that position or that and that, or you're trying to go back to school. He motivates, inspires. She's if she's a masochist and she's not trying to change, right? She's gonna think that that man is boring. She's
Yes.
going to maybe cheat on him. She's not gonna be happy there. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a masochist. She's not learning. Part of healing is the educational aspect where you're applying it. It's not knowledge is fuel for power, it's applied knowledge. So you're applying that.
That's 100% true.
You know what I'm saying? So she's not planning on doing it. She's like, yo, this guy's a simp. He's this, that. Maybe tells her girls, oh, he's vanilla. He's vanilla. What's wrong? You finally found a good man. Yeah, but I don't think we gonna have that rough sex though, because he's just showing me weird vibes. He's vanilla. I can't have vanilla sex. So she's telling her friend, she's complaining. She don't know what's underneath. She don't know that he can play multiple roles
Roles.
and wear different hats. She don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Because he has rules that he's following and integrity. So he's showing her gentleman. She's thinking that's how he is all
All the
around.
time. Yeah.
So there's no way she's gonna be happy there. She's gonna fuck it up. Self-sabotage is a psychological
Hmm.
term. Well, fuck it. It'll be relatable to people. She's gonna fuck it up, right? To a part where she'll never find out. Only way she'll find out is if they actually get there and he brings that. He'll surprise her. He's taming her beast. And then maybe outside he'll be like, yo, this is how I want you to be. Because he brought that. So she kind of feel like, oh, so he does have this inside of. Yeah, I'll adjust. She ain't doing it because she already has preconceived notions because how he's approaching her.
Mm.
So it will never get there. But it would have to get there where she could see other layers and what he can do. Then that'll make her probably change that. So So in a way, like, even though the man is there, she still has to take it upon herself to adjust. You know what I mean? Because people could talk about, well, you see, it takes the right man to make her do that. She's gonna still have to adjust because he's gonna be like, well, this is how I want these things. I got these rules, boundaries, whatever. She still has to be like, all right, I'm gonna do this consistently. Because if he's stating rules, then that means there are consequences because they go hand in hand and accountability.
Yeah, but
So
not all men do that.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah, but she's gonna be saying like, if he's stating rules, there's consequences. So you're right. Not all men do that, but she might also try to test. He
Mm,
said this would happen. Let me see.
that's true.
That would be the only way. That's the masochist. The masochist is testing, like being a brat. She's testing his limits. She didn't take his word. He said, if this happens, this will happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She's not taking his word because a lot of men talk, no action. The moment he does it, I believe him.
Mm-hmm.
But she could still be trying to play and then keep going and keep going and keep going, keep testing, testing, testing to a point where he like makes the ultimate consequence. Last strike, I'm out of here.
Mm.
We are done. Then maybe she gets on board and be like, all right, I really got to work hard because I don't want to lose him because he got a lot of great shit to offer.
Yep,
So
that's true.
that might help her do it, but it goes back full circle. She's still taking it upon herself to because he's giving her a choice. If this happens, then that will happen. So you have a choice. You could do whatever you want, but brace yourself for the consequences. There
Mm-hmm.
could be good consequences, there could be bad consequences. Subjectively, maybe it's good consequences if I go because you just don't want to change. Maybe it's bad consequences if I go because you really think I can take you to that level.
Mm.
Because the times that we're in today, these type of men don't exist anymore. You can help me get that level. And with me also doing it myself and doing the work. So that'll be the choices she'd have to make. But he's still giving her choices. So she's still making the decision. So final thoughts.
Final thoughts on women like to be treated like shit. And in the beginning, when I first read the topic, my mind automatically just went to in the negative stereotype. Like getting her ass whooped or something, like physically getting her ass whooped, being in an abusive relationship, and that's why I said my answer in the beginning, which I still believe in that. In terms of, if it's that type of treating like shit in like a negative way, then um I don't think women will purposely stay in that type of environment. Now, because you said we didn't specifically say it, then yeah, because I do believe that most women um like to be, I guess, for lack of a better word, treated like shit in the bedroom. Like they like that type to be in that environment, in the bedroom environment. Yes, they like to get spanked. They like to be, talked down to in that environment. Um, so
I would say most.
definitely most
Mm,
women,
mm.
definitely. Um, and again, with everything I always say on this show, it has a lot to do also with the kind of trauma that they've seen, that they've been in, that they've heard about, that they have gotten used to. And that's in terms of like the negative, how I initially heard, understood it for. And I think that, um, like Discipline said, in order to start fixing that, you have to heal yourself. You have to get to a point where you have to say, this isn't healthy. I have to, find a way to heal myself so that I can make better choices, or maybe not even make better choices, but you'll be able to, like you said, feel that energy of that other person and whether or not you should continue. That's it. That's my final thought.
Yeah. So, I'm not gonna answer the question because you already know my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. Um, so the thing is, like, for me, my thoughts are always on a solution, but it really depends because if people are not conscious they're doing it,
How
women,
can they
women,
fix it?
women, women. I want to say women. If women are not conscious of their doing it, them doing it, and having that moniker and trait, um, and then they do and they don't like it,
Wait, what do we?
that's what might make them want to change.
Wait, if women aren't aware that they're doing what?
That they're doing masochistic things
Oh, okay,
or
yeah.
they're
Or
masochists or they have masochistic tendencies. If they don't know and then this type of show makes them identify and they don't like it and they're like, that's why these relationships didn't work,
mm-hmm.
that's why I like that, that's why I like this, that's why I like this now, you know, and they don't like it, here's an outlet to change it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But there might be some women who are like, yeah, I'm not changing shit. I just need the man to tame me. Because they'll
That's
still
true.
say it even
Yeah.
after you're telling them, well, you're not an animal. Like, what was you? I still need a man to tame me. So they will still, well, it's just finding the right person. So they won't, those other portions of women won't feel like they need to change who they are, what they're going to do, and stuff like that. They just think that, well, let me just find like what their counterpart would be is, which they wouldn't be known that this was a term. Let me just find a sadist. Let
Mm-hmm.
me just find an asshole guy 24/7, not a part-time asshole. Um, like let me just find a sadist. You know what I mean? Let me just find um like whatever, a dickhead or some shit like that. Pause. Like let me just bad boys and shit, just real criminals. You know what I mean? Like let me just find
Criminals.
that. Those guys will just put me in my place. They'll tame me, they'll do this and that, whatever. Then you have the other women who don't realize they were doing that and want to change, and they'll be like, okay, but this aspect I still want to keep,
Mm.
but these parts I don't want to be in that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Like, and these females, they could be smart, they could be college educated, accomplished, financially independent, all that stuff. Social economic background is amazing. Like same thing. You know what I mean? And they just don't know. You know what I mean? They're like this and that. That's why I cheated on my ex. That's what I did. That's why I couldn't stay in that marriage. That's what. You know what I mean? Like they have to just know themselves. And if they don't like it, they gotta change it. But sometimes they might you know, just be like, I just gotta have that. It's a release for them, whatever. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? I just gotta find the right guy that's gonna be able to handle it. And my attitude, or let me bitch sometimes. I'm like, sometimes I have a bad day. I gotta have a dude that's gonna just be okay with that. He's not just gonna walk away because I'm having a bad day and I like to spaz out and I get an attitude. You know what I mean? Like the term attitude, we gotta specify with that too. I'm a technical beast
Mm.
because there's
It's
good
true.
attitude and there's bad attitude. Like one time a woman said to me, I said, "Oh, what are the things that people say that are bad about you? That they complain, friends, family, whatever, workplace. Oh, I got an attitude." So, like, I asked her, "What type of attitude?" And she was like, well, "What do you mean? Like, I got an attitude?" So she just automatically I assume, was going to bad because I was like, "Well, there's different types of attitudes." And she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm in a good spirited attitude today. I'm in a good attitude." And she was like, "Oh, yeah, I just got an attitude." So I'm like, I'm like, "Oh, so she means she got a bad attitude." I'm assuming like when she doesn't get her way, short fuse, temper. I'm just clicking the boxes. She's not speaking in general. She's like,
mm.
"Oh, I just got an attitude." So I'm just like, "Oh, she probably got a bad attitude, short tempered, that leads to that, this and that." It's not, you never have a good attitude, never
Mm.
happy and stuff like that. You see, that's what I mean. So when we talk about attitude, like, We got to be specific in that regard too. So like
That's
some
true.
women might be like, oh yeah, this man might be able to tame my attitude, put me in my place, this, that, grab me in public when I'm acting up in front of everybody and embarrass me because I'm a masochist. That's part of degradation. I don't mind. I'm still gonna stick around with him. You see? Like me, women arguing with me in public and stuff like that. Yo, last time I'm gonna tell you to shut up. If not, like we're leaving here. Or I'm leaving by myself and you could
Oh,
find your way back. You know what I mean? You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing me. See, I'm not like that, but there's a woman in a city near you that she may not like being embarrassed in the moment, but she go through it. She go through it. She stick around. This, that, and the third. Puts in time in, puts in more time there. You know what I mean? She's a masochist. You know what I mean? It may not be in every regard because maybe she still dominates in the bedroom. So you see where it's flipping? She's still a masochist and just mentally, emotionally. She likes that, even though you think she did. She hates it so much, she has an out. We're not talking about kids that are dating. She hates it so much she could have an out. I see it happening with all these independent females who got their own car, who got their own place. They're the ones that are doing, and you would think that they could walk away easy. They're the ones that actually could walk away easier. The women who don't work, housewife, whatever, no job, she got it hard.
that's true.
Those women are not exempt. They're included. Women in general. So it's like you gotta be aware. If you want to make a change, you gotta be aware of yourself, the problem, and then follow the necessary steps to change it. That's all it comes down to. Ask people around. Go to therapy. Talk to
Go
your
to therapist.
therapist
Yep.
and ask them, do you know what a masochist is? Do you think I'm that? Well, let's hear about your story, your history. Damn, maybe you are. I hate to tell you this, but maybe you are. Oh, who told you about this? Well, I was watching this podcast. You care to? No, I don't want to mention what it is. I'm embarrassed. I
Also,
don't
is
want to
it
mention I'm watching this podcast. They talk about everything on there. Just I don't know.
mention us? But also, it's not a bad thing to be a masochist.
That's why I'm saying it depends on what you like, what parts about it you're taking.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like it is a bad thing. 24/7 in every aspect, especially if you hear what I said in it, that means in every aspect you're gonna
Yeah.
do it. You get with the wrong guy, the guy who don't have a divine, who's not intuitive, who knows in certain places you can't act a certain way,
Hmm.
say certain things, and in public in front of everybody, maybe a restaurant, he's calling you out your name,
That's true.
punishing you, maybe having you sit on the floor, eating on there like a dog, in front of everybody, embarrassing you, degrading you in front of everybody. He don't realize that, but you tolerate it. You see? You see where
Hmm.
it's negative? That's for me looking at someone who doesn't have self-esteem. The women don't have self-esteem. He embarrassed you. Shame on him. Shame on him. He should know we're not gonna make a scene here. Nobody needs to see us sweat. You right. You right in public. I will always defend you. Behind closed doors, no, you need to be held accountable. Don't ever do that. Ever. You do it again, we over. So he needs to be like conscious of that. But you get with the wrong person and you wanna still be a masochist. Now she starts to realize, damn, that made me feel bad. That would have been cool if it was in the bedroom. That made me feel bad. Yeah, but you a masochist. See, now you don't like it. But then they could go back home and be like, you know what, daddy? That actually turned me on when you did that in front of everybody. It embarrassed me. It felt me feel bad. You see, and then it's the flip side. But it's all about going through the experiences. That's how you learn what you like and what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
wasn't
was
always
just
in this
thinking that.
lifestyle. I wasn't always in it. But I was born to be in it because I went through the experiences, dated vanilla, and this is I don't like this. It's not what makes me present. So maybe being a masochist to some women make them present. They like to be
Yeah.
treated like shit, so it makes them present. They're not willing to change it. They just know I'm just gonna find the asshole and just try to live happily ever after. I can't get with the good man who has God in him. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm an atheist. Not that I am. I'm just speaking
Right.
scenarios. But I can't do it. You know what I mean? So it comes down to you gotta experience it to know if you like it or don't. And then that's what's gonna make you navigate through that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You
I
know what I
agree.
mean? So it's like at the end of the day, like I think that's what it comes down to.
I
It's
agree.
just it's the knowledge, and
Experience.
if you feel like you once you experience it, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this actually like the
I like it
feminists,
or I don't like
the
it.
feminists, the feminists. Yo, I had 4 years I was with this dude. Then 3 years I was with this. Then 2 years I was with this dude. Then whatever a year I was with this other dude. I was in four relationships, four bodies. Every four relationships I ran it. I come here and you don't tolerate that. I come here, it's the first time I'm being tied up. I never thought that I would ever let a man take control over me. But for some reason, I got wet. For some reason, it kind of even made my mental calm down. My speedometer in my brain is not speeding. It slowed down. The hamster on the wheel ain't going nowhere. It keeps going, but it slowed down. My nervous system ain't up.
Mm.
Whoa, wait a minute. That that never happened. I didn't think I like to be degraded like this, kind of controlled. I kind of like it. Getting back into her default. That's her. Because if it wasn't in her, what would she do if I was trying to do all that?
Do a fight, you know?
Exactly. She would fight me. She would fight me in there, the bedroom, and she would fight me outside. Hell no. No nigga gonna come here and mention no fucking rules. This ain't 1950s. The fuck out of here. You ain't doing that here. It's gonna be equal. Ain't no way you gonna tell me. I know we talked about this, but I didn't think you was actually gonna do it. I thought you was just a shit talker. I didn't think you was actually gonna do it. We actually here? You do it? She's struggling while you trying to do it. She's fighting. See, then I would be like, oh, all right. She's really like, um, not a masochist. She really like don't like to be degraded, treated like shit, controlled and stuff like that, and dominated. She really don't like it
If she's fighting you while
if
you're
she's
saying that,
fighting it.
yeah.
But now that she's not, it's like she is. She was acting up. I told her to be quiet. Sit down. You ain't going dressed like that. Another scenario, not in the same thing. This and that. Oh, but I don't want to go eat there. We are going there. It's healthy. You told me you're allergic to this. Raise my voice a little bit. She's like, okay, daddy. Next thing you know, she's a little embarrassed, but then she say, I want to make a confession. What happened? You know, the other day when you kind of yelled at me, it turned me on. See? Masochist. So it's like it really comes down to like me kind of yelling at you, this or that. That was mean. Like that was mean. I was mean. But you didn't like she didn't like leave me. She actually told me the opposite. It turned me on. You see, so there's an array of women like this out here. So I talk to a lot of women. I got clients who are women. I got like in the past a sub like I talk to different women, and for some reason, me being a Scorpio, they always feel the need to be vulnerable and tell me things.
Mm.
So they're pouring out their soul, whether I was in a relationship with them or whatever it is. And I'm just retaining all this. So that's all I'm doing. I'm my eidetic memory, like a computer. I'm retaining all this stuff that they've said. A lot of times, women won't mention their most embarrassing moments. In my first book, The Seduction of Discipline, I wrote this one thing. I wrote this caption. I wrote this sentence, and I quote myself. E.L. Discipline. Women remember two things. No, no, no. Women remember three things. I believe I said her biggest pain, her biggest orgasm, and guess what the third is?
I don't know.
I said the man that gave them both.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So deep down, women in general are masochists. Could be emotional masochists. You know what I mean as well, but they're masochists. You know what I mean, and it's a summary of just how like the man is. Even if she an alpha female and she run other women, she get with a dude who she feel like is alpha, more alpha than her. She's submitting, and she be submitting to the pain, the degradation, the humiliation, all that. Her type, and she like him. Now, I'm not saying for guys to do this if you know, because it's manipulation. Especially if you know the women like you and if you're type and pouring out. Be good men. Always inspire to be good men. You can have that little sadness in you in certain environments and stuff like that, and danger when it counts, trespassers, stuff of that nature, whatever, car breaks down and all that, and you just know how to bring it up. But be good men. You know what I'm saying? Like, protect and provide for your woman. You know, especially if she's good to you. That's part of her reward. Now, if she ain't good to you, yeah, I'm not gonna say do whatever you want. Because the niggas gonna be like, well, I'm slap her around. No, 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 no.
He's like,
No, leave and whatever it is. You could state that and whatever. But be good men. You know what I mean? Like, part of women's trauma is your fault too.
Yeah.
Like, you're contributing to that. So be good men. So it makes it good for other good men. So even if you on your healing journey, you thought you was a bad guy, whatever, criminal, try to do what's right. When you meet these women, it's easy to get to know them. All these guards up and all this bullshit and stuff, masochistic and all that, like to be treated like shit. Like, all that won't be there because these other men in a line of them just put the staple. Is what you're saying, what you're doing. I don't have to be with a woman that's watching me right now to change her life.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, inspire to be good men. Good men have integrity. Good men have values, principles. Inspire to be that. You know what I mean? And put those women that are in your life on those same principles. That's what's going to make them good women, too. Have them be implemented because they see how you are holding yourself accountable with your principles. They're gonna want to be on that level. Oh, he's never late. He's always on time. I was always a late person. Now punctuality is in my vocabulary.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, inspire to be good men. Oh, he's a man of his word. He did this, he did that, he did the right thing or whatever it is. He helped out this old lady today. Didn't ask for anything in return. Oh, he's a man of his word. He said he was going to do this. Even he said he was going to punish me, and he did. He's a man of his word. Maybe I should be a woman of mine.
Yep.
He's the staple I'm going to follow. I want him to leave a mark on me. That's what's going to change this. So the more women that like to be treated like shit, they're going to meet toxic dudes. They're going to treat them like shit. They're going to be present there. Then it's going to end. And then they're going to be more fucked up.
It's like a cycle.
They're going to be more fucked up, like a revolving door. They're
Mhm.
never going to heal. They're never going to heal. They could be on their healing journey. They meet the wrong person. They regress because getting with them, energy is infectious. They're going to have to grow together. Even if it's poly, they're going to have to grow. So all the energy got to be in sync. Even if they're different gender. Divine. They got to aspire to be that. Divine. That's the energy. Even if it's different gender. That's what's going to get them to the point where they elevate. But if they keep going and going and going, then it's gonna get to a part where they're just never gonna heal. And their relationship types and the guys they choose or accept to submit to, the lifestyles they live and submit to, that's entirely their fault. Those females, those women, it's entirely their fault. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real, no holds barred, the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.